Record this thing to the cloud. All right, here we go. All right, well, hello and welcome everyone. My name's Mauria Dillard. It's Monday, February 3rd. We are zooming into 2020 as a team together. So thank you so much for taking the time to hop on here with us today. I know a lot of you are actually catching the replay over on our YouTube channel, which is amazing. We try to make this just super easy for you guys to plug in as you can, and then you utilize it to grow your business. So let me pull up. I want to make sure that we've got, let's see here. All right, I think we are ready to go. So real quickly, if you don't mind, I want to go ahead and introduce Rhonda to you guys. So Rhonda, where are you? I saw your face. Oh, there you are. Rhonda Garcia is here with us today. If those of you that caught our Zoom where we talked about Rockstar Rhonda and the power of one, she is actually who we were talking about. So Rhonda, I just want to turn this over to you and have you share a little bit about that night where you were that one person in the room. I don't even know the story as to how you were invited to that event that night. And then we're going to talk about some other things that I hope you guys can really implement and put into action. One thing before I let Rhonda begin, the thing that's kind of been heavy on my heart is, okay, we've got all these people dialing into all these Zooms, and you're getting this great training, but you can train as much as you possibly want, but if you don't put things into action, you can learn how to do things, but if you don't do them, then you're not going to grow. And so we want, as we zoom into 2020, we want to give you guys the knowledge, the information, the confidence to go put these things into action and grow. And so we're specifically going to be talking today about how do you share your story? Because ultimately, to grow this business, we've got to get people on Thrive, right? So that's kind of the topic at hand that we're going to talk about today. But first of all, Rhonda, I want to know the backstory. Like, how did you get invited to this event? And then you were the only one that showed up. So I want to know all about the vision that you kind of caught too. So I'm going to kick it over to you.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. Those that do know me know I'm one of those people that I am a cheerleader. So I encourage everybody else to speak on Zooms, and I will pat you on the back and tell you how great you are. But I'm not one to like be the center of attention without it just completely making me nervous. So bear with me. I don't make notes. I'm one of those people that if I do, I overthink it and then I mess up. So I'm just real and I'm just me. And that's what's great about my story. I was introduced to Thrive from a family member at the time that really did not know anything about it. They had got their wife on it and they seen such a difference in her. They had known that I was over 40. I was working crazy hours. I worked till 3 o'clock in the morning. I got up at 6 a.m. with my kids. I was over 40. So I looked and felt like I was 100 years old. And so it was funny because he was trying not to hurt my feelings, but he's like, I really think you need this. Why don't you try it? I was an energy drinker. I was a smoker. I lived on Advils and Tums. I was the most unhealthy person you probably would ever meet. I was way underweight because I didn't eat because of my hours and being just exhausted all the time. So when I got up the next day to try this Thrive, which is funny because he really didn't know anything about it. So there was no explanation if it was good for me, what it was, how it was. I just ran with it. Thankfully, I was a day one thriver. I took my 2 capsules and started feeling something right away. Once I did my shake and put on my DFT, it was a no-brainer that there was something going on. It was so amazing to me to feel this, start feeling that way so quickly that I was afraid to say anything because I'm like, I don't even know what this is and it's probably all in my head. So I had packed my bag for work and I did my extra energy drinks and shots because I'm going to be there all night because most likely whatever this is going to wear off and crash and I'm going to need something. It was when I got to work that I realized it wasn't really just in my head. My teammates were asking me like what I was on, if it was legal, and why was I so nice? And that's when it just kind of hit me. I was literally just surviving. I was very short-tempered. I did not have the patience. I never felt good. It was like almost like a body flu feeling every day because I wasn't eating right. I was so unhealthy. So I knew I had to figure out how to be able to get a hold of this stuff and find out what it was. And that's what makes this story funny too, because I hit 12K basically within 2 months of people saying, well, is it legal? I have no idea. I have no idea if it is or not. It's just so incredibly amazing. Just try it. Who cares what it is? This is what it's doing for me. So the person who, had got me this trial had said that they were doing this right by my house, right by my work. They were doing this local. And I literally went just to find out what it was and what the cost was going to be for me to get on it. It was Sydney and Haas doing their first local. Jess and Edna had came to support them. So it was them, those four in there. And I walked in, I had my uniform on still from work. And they had it all set up so nicely and stuff. And then I kept waiting and I kept waiting and I kept waiting. And I realized nobody else was coming. And then they realized nobody else was coming. So they're like, okay, come sit next to us and we're going to give you, what Thrive is and all that kind of stuff. I was not as outgoing as I am now with Thrive. So I literally, Jess Green will tell you, I sat there with my arms crossed and I did not make any facial expressions because I was unsure what this was about. And I didn't want to be stuck into something that I didn't want to, or be, persuaded into something I didn't want to do. So I literally had no emotion. I didn't have anything to say. I just listened to what they said. But when they started telling me this is all natural and it's gluten-free and it's no GMO and it's literally just the best way to take your vitamins, I'm like, holy, it is natural and it is legal. So I can do this and it's going to be great. So all I wanted to know was how I could order it. And they talked about getting it for free. So I literally said, I would like to promote because I just want to get it for free. And I want to make a little commission so I can buy the extra products that were offered from Lavelle. Because, I was a server, so I wasn't like loaded or anything. And that was my only intentions. I told them right away, I'm not a salesperson. I don't sell stuff. I'm not going to be good at this. I don't know a lot of people. So they pretty much knew to kind of wash me out. I wasn't going to be a rock star. I wasn't going to be someone that took their team somewhere. And they all walked away with that kind of impression. So I literally skyrocketed this business by just sharing my story, the passion. I will tell anybody and everybody what this product has done for me because I just have done a total 360. I explained it 4 years ago and I still say it to this day. It was literally from living in black and white, which you thought was normal because that's all you knew, going to HD color. Why would I not want to share this with people that I love and I care about? Because I want them to feel the same way. And it went from there. Like I said, I hit that button within 2 months. I hit the 12K auto bonus. Still, even after hitting that, of course, it was, financially great. Just getting my car payment, was paid for was awesome. But I still had that notion, I'm not a salesperson. I can't bust these products out to you and give you exactly what this vitamin will do for you and that vitamin will do for you. But I can tell you that I was a daily bad headache sufferer. I got great relief from acid reflux and heartburn. I actually gained weight. I am not the one that will tell you that I went on Thrive and I lost so much weight. I actually gained a healthy weight because I was so underweight. I started enjoying my kids. I started having more time. My kids will tell you when I first started this, they were all, don't ever stop thriving, Mom. I literally was that person. We say it all the time, but I was just surviving. And now I'm living my life and I'm enjoying it and I'm happy. And just people seeing that attract to it and they want to know about me or what I'm doing. So my story was how I still do it, but my story was how it got me to 200K. Anybody that would listen, I would tell them what it has done for me. And the passion, the excitement in my voice, they're like, okay, I can't tell you how many people's like, I don't know what it is, but just how excited you are, let me try this. When I would hit a brick wall, I would do the thing where I would call people potentials and say, can you just listen to my story? I'm trying to get a down pat for a local. Give me the pros and cons. What do you think? Do I talk too fast? Am I too excited? So I could share my story with them. And then once they heard my story, they would critique it. And then they'd be like, you know what? Does it really do all that? Well, let me try it. So my story has been my 200K mark. I share it on Facebook. I share it in my stories. As a team, from day one, we would do team calls. And as soon as you came on my team, the first thing we would do, we opened every call with what is Thrive, how you take it, and 2 stories. And I always picked new people to do that because your story is your selling point. Your story is what this business is built on. And if you can say it with confidence, if you can say it with passion, that is going to attract anybody way more than anything else that you can do in this business. So we would practice that. I'd call Sibby and Haas. The person who gave it to me just kind of fell off, so they ended up taking me under their wing. I would call them and practice it. I would call my downline and my new people, and I still do this to the day. And I'm like, you know what? Let me practice my story with you. It's been a while. It's a little rusty, so they could hear my story. And then I say, well, now you tell me your story. I gave them confidence to come back and tell me their story. But that's all I had to say about the story. I think that everybody needs to get back into realizing this is what it's based on, is what has it done for you. As a server, I always say this, that your passion and your personality is what attracts people, and you can make mistakes when you're waiting on that table if you have that personality and that passion and that friendliness and you're approachable. It's the same thing with Thrive. People, you got to make yourself approachable, and your story something people want to hear. They want to be around, and it's contagious, and it draws them to them. So my passion and when I tell my story is what has got me to 200K, and that's what I also try to get my team. We're doing right now. We're back to friends and family calls. We're doing them every other day, and even veterans that have been on. I'm doing one for Kelly, and she's been in it for a couple years, holistic nurse. But we're getting back to telling our story and getting people to hear it, because that's where this business is really based on.
I love that. So talk a little bit. So one of the things that you first said was that you don't know a lot of people. So who were you sharing your story with? And I think it's so important that people know you don't have to know a lot of people.
You don't.
Because the people you do know that are tired or exhausted, they know people that are tired or exhausted, and they know people that are tired and exhausted. Our demographic isn't limited. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes, like I said, I didn't really know a lot of people, but what I did when I first started out, I had all of my servers at work buy a 4-day trial and tag me on Facebook. And a lot of them were, really young, and they're not going to, right now, they weren't going to, some of them were not going to put that kind of money into their self, at the time. But when they tagged me, it was their mom and their aunts and their grandmas saying, well, what is this stuff? And that put me in contact with a circle that I never would have been in contact with. So tagging on Facebook to me was a game changer when it is now too, but when I first started, I had everybody tag me. A good part of the people that tagged me were not the ones who bought from me. Like I said, it was their friends and family reaching out, asking what it is, if they could try it. So that's how I got that circle. I would use that too with family members. If I knew that I would have them tag me, I would have them have parties for me. And what I say is parties, literally like 3 or 4 friends coming over that I would never have met, but it's through them, so that I can try to get them thriving for free. But let me tell your friends about it. And just for coming, I'm going to give them a 4-day trial. And I would literally just get up. I'd be like in their house, 20 minutes. What is Thrive? How you take it? And I would get their contact information and send them off for the 4-day trial. So most of my sales came from people I never knew. I was never in contact with. It was my people who knew them. It was their circle.
I love that. And you guys caught on to that. When she gave the samples, they had to tag her on Facebook. I mean, that's huge. And you actually sold your samples. How much did you sell your samples for?
$20 for 4 days.
$20 for 4 days, guys. So you do not have to give free samples. I mean, people that actually purchase samples, we've found we have a much higher success rate with that, because there's some skin in the game. They purchase that. Love that you mentioned the tagging. You said sharing your story with anybody and everybody. Here's something that, what is it, do you think, that holds people back? Or we'll go this route. So what was it that kept you sharing the story, even though some of your closest people they weren't saying yes, but it was their friends that were saying yes. What was it that kept you? What has kept you? Because how long have you been sharing your story?
December 4th was 4 years.
4 years. Okay.
And you know what? It's the passion, because and like I said, you have to experience this.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a daily, like I had so many issues with my digestive system, and I lived with headaches. We get so used to thinking that's the norm that when you find another way, how can you not tell people you don't have to have a lot of those issues, just need to be filled with, the right nutrition, and you can live a better life. And then all it takes is that one person that really calls you and cries and says, "You changed my life. I wasn't getting out of bed because of these elements or discomforts that I had. And for the first time, I got out of bed with a pep in my step. You gave me my life back." I mean, how do you not want to share it with more people? This is life changing, and you get these people calling you saying, I have, like me, 4 years ago, talking in front of all you guys, there's no way in the world this ever would have happened. But it's the passion that you have for a product that every single person in this world needs. It's hard to contain yourself in, and you have to go back to not worrying about, which of course the money is great. Like, any that does follow me on social media, I am a single mom living on my own, and Lavelle is the only thing that I do. I am completely blessed and grateful, but it never was about the money. It never was about the business. It was about literally wanting people to feel what I was feeling and be able to enjoy life every single day, because let's all admit, once you're thriving, when you feel good, you do good, you do more, you want to do more, you want to give more, you want to be, bless other people with that. And it's all about, if you're tired and you're dragging, you really don't have that energy to care about other people or to want to give a little extra. So it's just a life-changing, positive, feeling amazing. How can you not share it with everyone? And then if I have those days where it's a little stale, like I said, it's that phone call or that text where they just started it. I just have one right now that she's a new mom. Well, she's not a new mom. This is her third baby, but they're all very, very little. And she was crying when she said, "I need help. Do you think Thrive's going to help me with this, whatever?" She's like, "I'm just in a dark spot. I have no energy. I'm emotional." And it was day one. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm me again. I found me again," what she thought she lost. I mean, how do you not want to share that so that people get on it so you can hear their stories?
I know. I get it. I feel you. I'm with you. So talk to us a little bit about friends and family calls. A lot of people don't know what those are. Explain what those are, because we want to leave everyone with some action steps to go do today and then get on their calendar for this week. And friends and family call would be huge for this week. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Okay, so now what we do for friends and family call, especially if it's a new person, if you can get someone who just decided to promote, or even is a customer, just bought you as a customer, to share their story and their excitement when they first come on, that passion, excitement is the best way to go about it. But we do lots of them because we make sure everybody has their own individual call. We don't make it 4 or 5 people. This next one is just all about Kelly. It's a picture of Kelly, and she's a holistic nurse, and it says something like, dial in to find out the secret this holistic nurse has ran into, that she has all day energy and sleeps like a baby. You're not going to want to miss this. And we make an event page, and we have her invite about 10 to 15 of her friends and family. We do not have her invite our whole team. We put that in our chat so we can dial in and listen to her story, and we also record that so we can share her story. But we want those 10 or 15 people to see that they're special, and it's not 300 people invites and they're like, okay, no big deal. So they feel more impelled to call in. But what we do on our friends and family call, we do what is Thrive and how you take it. And then we try to do opposite stories. So Kelly is a holistic nurse who's always been healthy and always been into nutrition and fitness. And she broke down these products and dissected them like crazy before she would start. And that's how her story starts, and she's going to give it. And then she wants me to do my story, which I was the most unhealthy person. I did not do any nutrition. I did not do any exercise. So we're going to show someone who is into nutrition and was eating right and taking good supplements, how it affected her versus someone who is unhealthy and didn't do that. And we're going to have 2 stories. And then at the end, we always tell them to get with whoever that invited them, if they would like to try a 40 mini experience, you know, yada, yada, yada. And we have an event page for that. I personally don't do, and I hope I'm not being wrong on this, we don't do the business part. Usually we do friends and family call.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's all about their stories and the passion and what it is and how it's changed people's lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love it.
So we do an event page. We do a private little graphic, you know, with it's their picture. So they're dialing, their friends and family are just dialing in for them. So we don't make it, you know, this big, huge to do. So they feel special, and these, you know, they'll call in and listen to this. And we do them so quick and simple, so it doesn't take, you know, everybody's busy. And we seem to go back to the phone calls. I know a lot of people with the Zooms and stuff like that, but a lot of people just want to be able to call in and listen and not be, you know, show their face or whatnot. So we seem like we're doing better with just the friends and family calls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is basically how all of us launched our businesses anyway. You know, and I think there's nothing wrong with multiple modalities. You know, there's nothing wrong. If you guys have noticed our Thrive Experience calls that we just launched last week. So we have the call, the guests are sending out invitations individually, and then they're bringing people on. I'm recording that, and then I've figured out a way to get the recording. You don't see them, but you hear that recording over on YouTube. So that's just an easier way to do that. Is there a document that explains how to do the calls? Here in Canada, I don't know if we can. I've never been shown how. If you can go to freeconferencecallhd.com, Jessica, you can get your own conference call line. And that will actually walk you through everything. You can choose a Canadian number, and you can also, you'll have other numbers that people can dial into. So if you've got somebody in the States, you can, they would dial into a different number. And it actually walks you through. The Free Conference Call HD even has an app. I don't know if you're an iPhone user, but they have an app, and you can log into your dashboard during the call and do some things too. You can record the call, you can mute the caller, or you can actually have it set up where all the callers are muted when they dial in, which I do highly recommend. And always turning your tones off is a really good thing to do, just so they're not hearing just tons and tons of background noise. You don't want to hear when people join the call or exit the call, but it's freeconferencecallhd.com, and that'll basically walk you through the gist of it. So let's see.
Okay. That's another thing too. We're having all the newer ones are getting their own conference line so that we can record their story, and people, their potentials that haven't jumped on that call, they can send that recording to them. Mm-hmm. And so they had their story recorded already.
And I want to make a good point with this here, guys. So the call takes 15 minutes, right, on a Monday night, okay? But I want to walk you through all the seeds that are planted when we do these calls like this for people to share their story. Number one, they get an invite from someone. Okay, so the person speaking on the call cannot just post the flyer on Facebook or create the event page. Okay, they're going to send a text to someone. They're going to call their friends and say, hey, did you get the text I just sent you? I'm super nervous, but I can't wait to do this call. I hope you can dial in. They're going to invite them on the event page. They're going to kind of sprinkle some Thrive in reminders during the event page, right? Then they're going to actually have the call that lasts 15 minutes, right? The call is going to be recorded. Now they have a recording of that call that they can go back and send back to those friends that did not dial in, right? Use it to send to more friends. Hey, I don't know if you saw this flyer, we had this call Monday night. I thought of you, wanted to share. There you go. So literally something that took 15 minutes to do, it can be multiple planting of seeds. So what's some good verbiage to get someone on my own call? I've tried a couple ways and no one had actually called in. That you just got to ask more people. I mean, it's kind of like Haas and Sydney having their event and it's their very first event and only one person showed up. Go ahead, still have the call. The thing is that the people don't know how many people are dialed in or not. And honestly, you record the call and you go back through and send those out. So how many people can you send out to the call? Another thing is, are you inviting other people to share their story onto the call too? That's a big thing for sure. So was there anything you were thinking about when she asked that, Rhonda?
Well, what we usually do for ours is we do that, like, what is this Thrive stuff you keep hearing about? What's that patch you keep seeing? Tune in to hear about the Lavelle Thrive experience, and what it can do for you and how you can get it for free. And then if it's like the holistic nurse or something like that, we'll put something here, how the holistic nurse or whatever, we put like that type of thing. But that's usually all we do for our event page.
And you could have fun with it, all day energy for real, yes, it's possible. Tune in tonight. I mean, you can kind of just have as much fun as you want. How do you tie the free conference call to the event on Facebook? The event on Facebook, you're just inviting people to the call. So you're just posting the call information in the Facebook event so that they, again, they know that there's a personal invitation there. I've done the actual call already and recorded, but not tying it to a Facebook event. The Facebook event is basically to help with the invitation, but also it just allows a little bit more sprinkling of Thrive, because you could post a graphic in there of what Thrive is. You could post the, if you wanted to go grab the YouTube that Jason Camper, shared of why Thrive is different, you could grab that later. You don't want to overwhelm people with a lot of stuff. You want them dialing into the event or dialing into the call so that they can truly hear what Thrive is doing. When you have an event to the public, what do you recommend to advertise? Word of mouth, right? I mean, word of mouth is our best advertisement, hands down. What do you say? I mean, I think this is such a relationship business that it is you putting your name to this and you sending the personal invitation.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yep. I would say it's definitely a personal relationship and using other people with their personal relationships. Like one thing that we've done, we're getting ready to do again, we did a customer appreciation. So what that did for us is we had a Thrive gathering, but it was our customers inviting people in there because we are going to help them get Thriving for free. And then of course, each customer that came, we had a little Thrive bundle for them. Just, appreciation for them, being a customer of ours. So sometimes have your customers or your family members work for you. So it was their circle. So it was word of mouth. So if I don't have a personal relationship with other people, use your friend that has more personal relationships. See what I'm saying? Like the customer appreciation was huge for us. I think each one of our customers brought 2 or 3 guests. So it was word of mouth where they brought. So you just got to get kind of clever with reaching out of your circle.
I love that. Someone's asking you when you do the 4 days. I mean, see, I tailor mine to everybody usually. Do you have a blanket 4-day, or they're asking, are you giving like 3 days and stretching it into 6, or are you giving them four shakes, 4 DFT, 4 capsule packets?
I do 4 capsule packs. I do 2 shakes. We start them off with a half a shake, and then I do 4 regular DFTs. I do get to know them though, so that will depend on getting to know them if I'm going to start them with 1 capsule or 2. And I know most people do the 1, but now I need the 2. I was a heavy energy drinker, and that's how I got up in the morning. So I needed that 2 to get me a kick in the butt, or otherwise I probably gave up first day. Yeah. So I usually get to know that person and talk to them, and that's how I will direct them. And then I'm on them for a good morning, lunch, and dinner during their trial. How's the breakfast? How are you feeling? How's lunch? What are you thinking? That type of thing. So, and then I follow through with them, and then I'll know, if there's something needs to be added, subtracted, or whatever. But yeah, I just do the 2 shakes because we do a half a shake.
Right. Somebody said, I don't do it enough, but lives are huge too. Lives are huge. You just gotta, the thing is just doing. I mean, like I started this out, that this is one of my concerns, is that everybody wants these the Zooms and you're dialing in and you're plugging in and you're getting all this info. But if we don't go, you can have all the info in the world, and if you don't go share your story with someone and invite them to thrive with you, you're not going to grow. Whereas you can be ignorance on fire, not know anything about the business, not know anything about the products, not know anything other than what you feel, what you've experienced personally, and you can set this thing on fire. Okay.
Absolutely.
So that is the biggest thing for me is I don't care what you do. You just got to go do, so let's talk about that. Let's leave them with a few challenges, Rhonda. If you're leaving them with, okay, guys, I want to challenge you, go do this right now and go get this on your calendar this week. What are you going to tell them to do?
I would tell them to set up their first friends and family call, even if they've been a veteran. Lead by example. If you have a team, let them see. That's why I'm doing the friends and family call tomorrow, so that they can see that I'm doing one too, how easy and quick and simple it is, and how passionate it is to hear your story. Get back to telling your stories. We also plan a local. We're doing locals at least once a week, belly to belly. If 50 people show up, amazing. If 2 people show up, then us promoters are getting together and brainstorming. But we are doing friends and family once a week, a local gathering, whatever you want to call it, once a week. And I would say go live. And I'm the first to tell you, because I don't like to do that. So you'll see on my Facebook, I've only a few times, but I just did it the other day since we were challenged. And I had 4 people that have been watching me for 4 years. And I reached out to them, and over that live, they said, I'm ready to try. And someone said, I'm ready to buy. So just get out of your comfort zone and just do it. People buy real. That's all they want. They don't want professional. They don't want perfect. They want real. So just being yourself is what's going to attract people to want and be comfortable enough to ask you about what you're doing. So
I love it. Guys, those tips are gold. They are. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for hopping on today. Rhonda, thank you for just pouring your wisdom and your passion into us. That's what it's all about, guys. So let's go make things happen. freeconferencecallhd.com. And just don't worry about how you're going to do everything, guys. If you start focusing on, but how do you do it? 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 You're not going to do a daggum thing. You just got to go. Just jump. Okay, make this about helping people. Make this about introducing people to thrive. Make this about sharing your story and helping people feel like $1,000,000. And don't worry about all the other stuff. You'll figure it out later. And if you mess up along the way, oh well, everything is fixable and everything is figure-outable. Figure-outable. And that's a book Jennifer Zant introduced me to. And I don't know how many times throughout my life I said, we got to figure this out. Or as a mom, we got to figure this out. Or as a leader, we got to figure this out. And I'm like, okay, everything is figure-outable. That just sounds more like Mary Poppins. So I think that's my new phrasing. Everything is figure-outable. We just got to get in the zone of doing it. So thank you so much. Thank you, Rhonda. Everybody say goodbye.